Welcome to the Young and the Restless. I'm Victor.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Olivia. And this is a podcast that bravely goes where no one without HIPAA certification should go.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I dreamt I had a soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, will that dream just go on for its own sake?
I had a dream last night that I realized is actually a reoccurring dream for me. Okay, so I'll have this dream where my pet rat from childhood is suddenly alive and well, and I'm aware that he died a long time ago. He'll be in the cage that we used to have for him, and I will think to myself, oh my God, we've totally forgotten that he was just in there this whole time. And it'll be a little bit alarming.
Like you just remembered your Neopet.
Last night I had this dream again, and it was like I remembered that I had those other dreams. Like I kind of remembered oh yeah, he sometimes hibernates for 20 years. It's fine. And there's this interesting thing where I'll dream about animals all the time, and they feel like something I'm putting in the dream. They feel like a part of me, a part of my subconscious. I dream about our dogs, and it's it has a particular feeling to it. But then there's certain times where there will be an animal that feels like a separate thing. And it's a little bit creepy sometimes.
Like Pet Cemetery, reanimated.
I don't know. It just kind of feels it has a different feeling to it. It feels like I didn't invite them there, and I'm always surprised to see them there. But I just noticed that there's a really distinctly different feeling than there is with other animals in my dreams.
Meaning your current pets.
Yes, my current alive pets or other animals in my dreams. But my dead rat is it's always the same dream, and it's always I'm shocked and surprised to see them, and it feels, yeah, I don't know, it feels different.
So what if when you die, you just go into dreams and just wander other beings' dreams for the rest of eternity?
Yeah.
What if this is my new religion?
Mm-hmm.
That could be cool, but also terrible.
Yeah.
Depending on the dream. I don't think I've ever dreamt of a dead pet.
You should try it sometime.
I don't know if maybe they didn't like me as much as I thought they did.
Have you had dreams of dead pets that didn't feel like this phenomenon you're talking about?
Probably. I imagine that I could dream of a dead pet the same way I could dream of anything else, right?
I would think so. I was trying to see what I find about ghosts visiting people in dreams.
Animal ghosts?
It's pretty funny to think of a ghost rat.
Yeah, and such a diligent one that keeps coming back.
Yeah.
I hope it's not ghosts. Because not only have none of my pets ever visited me, but none of my dead family either. And I don't like the implications of that.
That you remember.
True. Sounds like a memorable dream, though.
Here's a Reddit on our ghosts from 2 years ago. Major repair. Dream of dead pet. Hi everyone, I just had the weirdest dream. It is sort of related to this sub. I can remove it if it is not, but I did see some similar stories when searching. I hope this is okay. So recently my dog passed away, but last night I had a dream about him. The dream started very weird, like most. For instance, things are off or whatever. But then it started to get very real after going through a doorway and into another room. It felt like I was not fully asleep and semi-awake, if not feeling like everything was completely real, but knowing it was a dream. Everything was so detailed, even how my dog looked and felt. So I sat next to him, hugged him, and started to cry, which ended up waking me up after a little. After we just received the ashes recently, and I touched the container he was in yesterday, if that is anything. Oh, also, we just did all that. I just thought I would share. It was the weirdest dream I think I have ever had and was unlike anything else. Not sure if that's ghost related or not. Have a nice day. So it is kind of similar in that it's there was something about it that felt different than a normal dream. Visit of a ghost pet.
I was going to do an animal dream today.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I was about to bring up another dream phenomenon that I experienced recently, but I didn't want to lead us away from a perfect segue.
Let's seg the way.
I had this really just what the fuck dream. And I thought that
Is
would
it
be
Jungle Cats?
Yeah, it is. It's just really short, simple dream. Probably a good one to start with. And we were just talking about dream animals, dream animals. Yeah, I was on a college campus, which, by the way, I think we talked about this, spaces and dreams that you keep coming back to.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a similar phenomenon with campuses because I might have even talked about this last time, but the reoccurring dream of being in school, especially in college when classes are all in different buildings and it's your first week. I have that dream a lot, but it's always the same college campus and it's not the one I went to. And then when I came to Seattle for the first time and visited UW, it looks exactly like the one that I always see in my dreams.
Interesting.
But anyway, that's kind of neither here nor there. I was on a college campus in the dream and it was close to night, dusk or whatever. And there was just a stray tiger wandering around the quad. And I did basically what I would do in real life if that was happening, which is slowly, don't make any sudden movements, just slowly try to get around the tiger and as far from it as possible. And it worked. The tiger saw me, but it wasn't super interested or whatever. And I slowly put more and more distance between me and the tiger until I was away from it. And right when I was starting to breathe a sigh of relief, darting through the woods on campus toward me was a fucking panther. Just at full tilt, clearly about to pounce and maul me. And I just went, "Ah!" and almost shit my pants. And then I woke up. So
That's got to mean something.
I'm curious to see if there's separate entries in Dream Bible for panther and tiger.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to do this one, because it's short and simple and nothing in it is clearly about any.
Well, let's dig right into Dream Bible.
You know what's sorry, I just have one thought before we get into it. It's kind of the tiger is the obvious thing. It's bright orange and striped, and the panther is black and hides in the shadows, and you maybe wouldn't see it right off the bat,
And whereas the tiger was wandering around out in the open in the middle of the quad.
Right, yeah.
Without any clear agenda. It was just da-da. And the panther was coming out of the woods.
Yeah.
Clearly making a beeline, I got to get him before he sees me coming.
Right. That's just interesting.
Right off the bat, I have to ask you, are you sure it was a panther and not a blue tiger?
I didn't know a blue tiger was a thing.
It is in the Dream Bible, so we got to make this distinction.
No, it was black. It was...
Gotcha. Okay.
Blended in with the night.
So to see a tiger in your dream represents an aspect of your personality that has unquestioned power. Issues or people that have total power over you. Tigers often symbolize a problem or powerful fear that you'll do absolutely everything to avoid confronting. A tiger may also reflect a powerful misconception you have, a lie or misunderstanding that heavily influences you. Alternatively, a tiger may reflect your own unquestioned authority, feeling other people fear confronting you. Negatively, a tiger may reflect an unquestioned fear, running away from problems based on assumptions, rumors that scare you, assuming that your enemies have more power than you without question, a lack of critical thinking about something serious you've heard, feeling that a problem is too dangerous to even consider thinking about confronting and choosing to run away from it as a first option, a naive fear you have. Alternatively, it may reflect your own abuse of rumors, other people's inexperience, or other misconceptions about you.
All right, I'll try to hold all that in my head.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. And then with a panther, to see a panther in a dream represents feelings about a person or situation being dangerously empty or uncaring, feeling threatened by the possibility of total humiliation that is merciless, a fear of never ever again in some area of your life, a fear of being cut off, banished, or losing something forever, vindictiveness or jealous bitterness, a fear Vindictiveness or jealous bitterness, a fear of death, or experiencing emptiness for the rest of your life. Alternatively, a panther may reflect you or someone else that is actively seeking revenge that is permanent and unforgettable. A panther can symbolize your feelings about an enemy that you feel is dangerous to trust at all, behavior that is totally uncaring towards enemies.
Panthers are bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Which was Blue Tiger.
Blue Tiger's all rainbows and sunshine. Blue Tiger's like everything is going good in your life.
Victor gave you a chance. He said, "Are you sure?"
And when I picture a Blue Tiger, I picture a cereal mascot. So
To see a blue tiger in
He's
a dream
not blue, is he?
represents a positive belief that overpowers other priorities, a genuine belief that something is so positive that it's more important than anything else.
Shit.
Oh, that is Tony. Yeah.
Wow, it really was positive. But no, it was not. It was a panther.
How did you feel in this dream?
Terrified, like I was going to die.
Yeah.
Once I saw the panther, that I don't often have like adrenaline dreams like that. When I woke up, I was kind of like, cool. Like I don't know. It gave me like a fun scare to wake up from, you know?
Was this a recent dream?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Super recent. So yeah, when I have like a creepy, unsettling dream, I'll wake up and like have a hard time going back to sleep.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like I'll be looking at the stippling in the ceiling, like and seeing some haunting face or something, you know, like something ephemeral or that's a different genre of nightmare, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That is actually kind of fun, like a roller coaster, as opposed to something that really truly gets under your skin.
Mm.
I figured the college campus also means the setting, because the back in school dream is a classic, you know.
To dream of college represents issues or situations in your life that you are giving serious thought that benefit you and increase your status or power. It can also represent well-earned relaxation, success, or compensation for hard work. College in a dream may be a sign that you are very busy or focused on an issue that is allowing you to improve yourself or benefit in some way. You may want to show off your skills or take a well-deserved break. Okay, so work dream again?
Potentially.
I feel like a lot over the last few dreams you've talked about like taking time for yourself, focusing on like your career and like wanting to resolve some things in yourself before you start dating, or like, you know, you've just brought up a lot of different things that feel like you're on kind of like a self-improvement trajectory, or like you're really focused on like your own path right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I do feel like there's a distinction between college and high school here, because last time we talked about when we had our mutual dream, we were back in high school, and I felt like we were focusing on like regression and arrested development, whereas college seems to have more to do with upward mobility.
Not if you get eaten by a panther.
Yeah, so the college thing does seem kind of obvious. I'm just trying to place the two threats, the one that seems like a threat and the one that actually is.
So we've got college, which is like self-improvement, road to achieving new skills, developing new abilities, whatever, personal growth. And then your tiger negatively is like a baseless fear, right? Or a fear of something that maybe you don't really need to be afraid of. And then a panther.
Did it say that in the tiger entry, or are you extrapolating from the fact that the tiger wasn't a threat in my dream?
It says negatively, a tiger may reflect an unquestioned fear.
Okay.
Running away from problems based on assumptions.
That's interesting that the tiger in my dream behaved as such.
Yeah. So in this, a tiger, from how I'm reading this, it seems like a tiger is something that you fear because you haven't thought about it enough. Or is that
what the expression paper tiger means?
Yeah, I think paper tigers does mean like a thing that looks scary but isn't.
Yeah, that's what Google says. One that is outwardly powerful or dangerous but inwardly weak or ineffectual.
And then the panther. I'm having a hard time summarizing the panther. Repressed feelings about a person or situation being dangerously empty or uncaring.
Represents feelings.
Feeling threatened by a possibility of total humiliation that is merciless.
A fear of never again in some area of your life.
Okay. I actually have more, like I connect more with the panther thing the more we talk about it.
A fear of death or experiencing emptiness for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So there's a situation maybe ongoing in my life that I haven't talked about. I think I've sidestepped it on a couple of dreams because it's like a whole thing, but might as well get into it because I think a lot of my dreams lately and going forward are probably going to be about this. But there's somebody from my past that lives in Los Angeles. And a while ago I hung out with her and we hooked up, and we've had like this ongoing thing for like 7 years, and it was always, I don't know. It's a long history to get into like the whole thing. The most pertinent thing is that like when I found out she was here and we were going to hang out, I got like the most excited I've been in a long time. But also really terrified that she was going to disappear again, like she periodically does over these last 7 years. And sure enough, she's not replying to texts or calls or anything. So that's been taking up a lot of hard drive space in the old coconut. And a lot of the Panther entry just now is making me think about her.
Gosh.
A fear of being cut off, banished, or losing something forever.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was a big one. I explicitly told her that when we were hanging out, like I don't care if we're not a thing, like we don't have to date or whatever. I just really like you as a person and love having you in my life, and it'd be great if that remained.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I'm sorry. That's tough.
Yeah, so the vaguest part of that Panther entry, what did it say? In a vacuum, it made no sense. But when you apply it to this, it said like fear of never again or something.
Yeah. A fear of never again in some area of your life.
Yeah, when you can actually pin that onto something that's actually pretty poetic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a while back when this first happened, I was actually going to vent about it on this podcast because there was like, after I last saw her, I'm pretty sure for like 2 weeks straight, she was in my dreams every night.
Mm.
And now she's a panther, I guess.
So what does the tiger represent in relation to this topic?
Well, so I feel like we've got two pieces of the puzzle, right? We've got like what you're doing in LA, which is your
campus.
Yeah, the campus is LA. Campus is like where you're growing and building as a person. You know, you're developing yourself. And then you have this whole distraction with the tiger. And then after you're done dealing with the tiger, you get taken out by this panther, which we think is maybe potentially this person or what this person represents. Maybe this person representing like a version of yourself from your past, you know, like things in yourself that you don't want to, you know, be anymore, or it could just be this person, right? You know, and whatever your complex relationship is with her.
Those both make sense. The tiger oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Well, the tiger could be a lot of things that I'm generally anxious about, but the most related, I guess, would be, like I was saying last time, I've been avoiding like dating because I want to just have all the puzzle pieces together, and I'm afraid of what will happen if I like let anyone see me. You know, if I open myself up and be vulnerable in front of anybody, you know, I'm like profoundly afraid of that right now, yet totally willing to let somebody who's, as soon as I find out she's here again, I'm like, yeah, let's hang out and like excavate all of those 7 years of like difficult feelings.
So, I think just because it might, no, it did make sense. I think just because it might flesh this out a little bit more, I'm going to reread the first part of the tiger entry. To see a tiger in your dream represents an aspect of your personality that has unquestioned power. Issues of power that have total control over you. Tigers often symbolize a problem or powerful fear that you'll do absolutely anything to avoid confronting. A tiger may also reflect a powerful misconception you have, a lie or misunderstanding that heavily influences you.
Issues or people that have total power over you. Like, I don't know, talking about how you're like, I'm not interested in doing that. And then like, there's like this one weak spot for this person, right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe one interpretation I'm getting from this is like, so you're in your self-improvement element. You're spending all of this time and like all of this, you're putting all of this energy and concern into the tiger. The tiger's the thing you're afraid of. Tiger doesn't seem to care about you. Tiger's not doing anything to you, but still you're invested in avoiding the tiger. And then like out of nowhere, nothing you can do about it, the panther gets you, right? So maybe like the panther being like the real thing to fear, the true danger, right? And the tiger representing your perceived, your concerns, the stuff you fret over a lot that ends up never really being anything that you had to worry about in the first place. Maybe where you're putting all of your anxiety and your fear and it never turns into anything, you know? Yeah. So it's like maybe the thing you're trying to tell yourself and maybe how you're feeling after, you know, you like you said, you're concerned about dating, you're concerned about various things that you think you can control. And then this person blows into your life again, and you maybe not have repeated a cycle of a thing that, you know, was miserable or that you wanted to avoid or that, you know, makes you feel like you're regressing, came out of nowhere and hit you, right? So maybe on some level you're telling yourself you're spending so much time worrying about the tigers when the tigers are never going to be the problem. And what is going to get you is always going to kind of come out of nowhere, right? So it's like maybe it's you telling yourself, instead of fearing the things you can control all the time, maybe just kind of accepting some risk and, you know, being more comfortable with where you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that interpretation. I like the idea of it as like almost like an Aesop fable that can work for a lot of things. Like a parable that can be applied to a lot of life situations in the future. Because I was trying to think of what specifically the tiger would be so that I could like not worry about it. Because I don't think she would be the panther, because she didn't set out to ruin my year. You know, right? It would be, I guess the panther would be like the history and feelings there, and then what I let it do to me, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the tiger's you thinking you can control being mauled by a big cat. And the panther is there to prove that you can't control it at all.
Yeah. So this time it was about dating and like interpersonal stuff. But I think you can I'm trying to think of a way to phrase this as like advice to the listener without it being like, don't worry about the tiger too much because there's a panther right around the corner.
Well, I think anyone with anxiety can recognize in them, at least I can recognize in myself as an anxious person, a lot of the stuff I worry about ends up not mattering. Mm-hmm. And then the stuff that really ends up getting me is not stuff that I was worrying about.
Yeah.
It's very rare that I can say, oh, like I got all stressed out about a situation and was super careful about it. And so it like went fine. Like... No, usually I'm just wasting a lot of time and energy and killing myself, slowly killing myself.
Very slowly, but surely.
The tiger could have been this other person that I was briefly seeing here in Los Angeles who was super awesome, but I was keeping at arm's length out of fear.
Yeah.
And then
I think that's a perfect example.
And then when this person, the one that I have history with, showed up, I stopped calling the other one. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately and feeling bad about it. When you just let go of something, that kind of like, damn it, why did I could be dating a really awesome person right now, but instead I rushed back into a hurricane that I've already been in.
I wouldn't beat yourself up about that though. You know, for whatever reason, you made the decision to kind of let that go, and that was the right one. you know, even if maybe
gonna have to be.
you could have seen that person, you know, you made the right choice. There's other people. You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. Your baby's going to be fine. But
My
your
baby.
wife is going to die.
Oh shit. That's from the Lost episode. You can't keep referencing that. And even I forgot for half a second. I was like, what are you talking about?
I'm going to bring it back.
You threatening my family?
Yeah, do you feel like we got to the bottom of your jungle cat dream?
Yeah, I think so. And it feels good to finally talk about that situation because, like I said, it was monopolizing my dreams for a minute.
Mm.
And it was only a matter of time before I had to bring it up on here.
Yeah. We can't have any secrets on this podcast, apparently.
Yeah, if
No.
something's on your mind, we're going to end up talking about it.
I got past all the dreams that, you know, had her in them playing herself with no symbolism. But I was like, well, that's probably going to show up eventually as something. Panther's that's a clever one. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Her. Like, it wasn't my brain that did it.
I feel like, you know, this being generalized into, like you said, this like Aesop's fable kind of allegory, right, is also kind of your brain trying to tell you that it's not just about her, right? That there's more, that it can be generalized out into other areas of your life, right? It's not just this one experience. There's like all sorts of ways in which the same pattern could repeat for you, and you can avoid that.
I don't know if you can ever avoid the panther, but you can, I guess, stop stressing about the tiger.
Yeah, it's like it's misplaced fear. The tiger, right?
And I wasn't even like super, I mean, I was scared of the tiger in the dream, but as I navigated it and like got around it, I was like really proud of how calm and collected I handled it. And then the panther was like, boom, like I only had a split second to shit my pants.
But that, like, so much stuff in life is like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is for a super anxious person. When something does go horribly, terrifyingly wrong in a split second, I usually am like satisfied with the way I handled it. You know what I mean? Like my reactions are way better than I ever think they're going to be.
Yeah, as an anxious person, I usually surprise myself in responding well to like a stressful situation. But also, when something really goes to shit, there's kind of a sense of like release, like, oh, it's fine. I don't need to worry because everything's already fucked.
That's how I have felt about catching COVID. So far as I know, I have not had it yet, knock on wood. But
I think that's
there's been we'll see. There have been a few like times where I thought for sure I had it. Like this most recent time, I thought surely I have COVID. And with every test that I take, I've gotten increasingly disappointed when it's been negative because I just want to like stop having to worry about it. Like I just want to catch it and then get through it and be like, oh, look, I was actually fine. Nothing bad happened. Yeah,
no, that's true. And that's true. That's like doing really poorly on stage, like bombing in front of a crowd. Once it happens, you're like, well, that was the worst thing that could have happened. And I didn't die. I got through it.
Whenever me and Olivia are stressing out about something, as like a therapeutic thing, I tend to get into worst case scenarios. Like, well, okay, if this absolutely goes nowhere, we're still alive. We're probably not going to like lose our home, right? Like everything's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. Run those like quick simulations. Doesn't always work though. One time I was dating a girl who knew that I did that. And this was actually it's a really, really good girlfriend thing to do. Like she would like learn how to reflect that back to me and do that to help me. But one time I got violently too high on edibles and it doesn't work when I'm that high. Cause I was like, what if I die right now? And she was like, well, would that really be the worst thing?
You put it that way.
just curious, because I know Olivia, you had a bitch and a half of a time quitting vaping nicotine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have relapse dreams?
Not that I remember. No, I don't think so.
I was just curious. I think it was like last night. I haven't had any alcohol in like 2 months now. I'm doing this thing where like trying to change a few habits. And I read that 9 weeks is how long it takes to establish a habit. So for 9 weeks, I'm trying to go to the gym 3 times a week and read every night. I'm not drinking any alcohol just to kind of like recalibrate that relationship.
Yeah.
Not because I think I need to like stop drinking completely, but it's not doing me any favors. So after the 9 weeks, I'm going to try to only drink like once in a while.
Yeah.
But right
Makes
now,
a lot of sense.
But right now, nothing other than these Heineken Zeros. But last night I had a dream where I forgot and I got super drunk, and it was really upsetting. I woke up like, God damn it! Oh yeah, I'm not hungover. This is good. And so, have you ever had any like bad habits or addictions you had to kick, Victor?
Well, I had to quit smoking weed for a while, and then that turned into smoking those like weird research chemicals you can get at smoke shops. And then
that was not like a bad habit you had to quit. That was your grandma found your weed, though.
Yeah, exactly. And I need to be able to piss clean. I had the misfortune of having like a really good first experience with spice, where I was like, this is amazing. It's like euphoric. It's fun. I'm having a good time. I feel great. Everything's great. And then it never was that fun again. And every time I was like, oh, I must just be getting unlucky. When am I going to find that stuff from the first time that I did this? And it kind of fucked up my brain for a while. Like even after I stopped, like I remember everything was a little shiny in a way it wasn't supposed to be for like a couple of months after I stopped smoking it. And yeah, that's about it.
Do you ever have dreams about spice?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I was never like a habitual drinker. I never really had a nicotine. Weed's been my thing, but it's not.
Yeah, but not enough to have a off the wagon dream. I heard it was a common thing, the relapse dream, among anybody who's kicked a habit. But yeah, like I said, I'm not even quitting forever, but I have been sober for 2 months straight, so it was interesting to have a dream where alcohol was involved and I wasn't, and it was like I was fucking up, you know.
And this podcast is brought to you by Heineken Zero.
Heineken Zero, all the carbs, none of the fun.
I was gonna say zero hangover, zero fun.
Brought to you by Spice Zero.
Diet Spice.
Okay, so my mom sent me a dream, and bear in mind, this is like voice to text dictated, so it sounds kind of like AI wrote a dream, but it was just my mom. So here we go. I was in this old, weird house. Todd was there, and we were in the kitchen together. The kitchen was dark and old. He was putting away some spaghetti and meatballs that he made. The meatballs were white, like they were made from turkey. And he was putting them into this big sort of dish tray, like they use in restaurants to put dirty dishes in. And he put the meatballs in the dish tray, and then he poured all of the spaghetti in there. It was a lot. And then I turned around, and he had put a pony into the spaghetti and meatballs. He had put a pony into the spaghetti and meatballs, sort of like for safekeeping overnight. And I said, no. That's going to hurt the pony's hooves. That's not good for his hooves. And what if he jumps out of there and breaks his leg, and jumps off the counter and breaks his leg? And Todd was copying an attitude like, don't be so bossy, which is not his MO. And then I started thinking about Memphis. And suddenly there was a big chestnut horse that looked like her. And somebody was saddling her up, way down at the other end of this barn, which we were suddenly in. It turned into a sort of lane where the trees grew over the top of the lane, and there was this young girl, maybe 14 or 15 years old, who was walking this horse that looked like Memphis. Like she was going to ride her, and this Memphis lookalike was trying to poop, and the girl kept pulling her, and the horse was trying to slow down to poop, but the girl kept pulling on her, and I was yelling down the lane, she's trying to poop, stop pulling her, but the girl wouldn't stop pulling on her, she wouldn't listen to me, and then the horse was kind of squatting down, and then she was laying down to roll, and I said, oh no, she's rolling, stop pulling on her, she needs to poop. And then when we got closer, the girl handed the lead rope to a woman who was wearing a veterinary coat. And I was saying, why don't you guys let her stop and poop? And that's it. That's the dream.
This dream is about IKEA putting horses in their meatballs.
Yeah, for reference, you may have figured out Memphis is a horse.
That took me a minute.
Todd is my mom's boyfriend. They've been dating for about 5 months now.
Okay, so that's
and
not
yeah,
a
this is a
horse.
poop dream. Back to poop dreams.
Back to our roots. Haven't horses come up before too?
They sure have.
I just realized that my jungle cats were at the actual size of jungle cats too, by the way. They weren't tiny like they usually.
Oh,
They weren't the wrong size.
that's interesting.
Not to bring it back to my dream, I just remember I was thinking about horses.
Well, like my mom had a dream about him Todd putting a pony into Tupperware with.
Right.
I mean, that's a wrong size for a pony.
Tiny horse.
It was phrased as something like with the meatballs or in the meatballs at first. So I thought
Yeah,
you
it
were talking
was
about
like-
eating the horses, but he was actually putting them in.
No, yeah, he was putting a pony into the container with the meatballs, and my mom was asking him to stop because she was worried that he was going to hurt the pony.
So I've got spaghetti, meatballs, and pony. Where should we start?
Curious, is there a subdivision for white meatballs? Dream Bible has the
Sounds so
weirdest
gross.
turkey balls. Dream Bible is the weirdest. Like sometimes they did like single things out by color, but not always. They had blue
Pull-
tiger.
Turkey, just in case that's relevant.
I think what's going to be relevant, horses and poop, and probably the spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, surprisingly, there's not a horse shit entry
No,
on the Dream Bible.
But
They've
we
got
can
birds
combine
and
it.
dogs.
we can combine
Yeah.
poop with horses.
And meatballs.
Well, okay, let's just start with spaghetti. To dream of spaghetti represents experiences that are too wonderful or special to notice anything wrong with them. Feeling that you have to careful about something wonderful. Feeling that you have to be careful about something wonderful, I assume. Positively, dreaming about spaghetti represents an enjoyment of doing something difficult. Enjoying applying intelligent experience or sophisticated methods of problem solving. Enjoying a sense of preparedness, like knowing what to do in a difficult situation. The careful application of foreknowledge. Spaghetti in a dream may show up when you are dealing with a problem where you have the needed experience to deal with it. Enjoying proving you are a sophisticated person. Negatively, spaghetti may reflect your anxiety about not being careful about showing your appreciation for something wonderful you fear losing, not wanting to take risks with a sophisticated problem, enjoying pretending to be professional or more experienced than you really are with a problem that is beyond your abilities. Alternatively, spaghetti may be a sign that you find yourself entangled in a messy relationship or uncomfortable position. To dream of a toilet filled with spaghetti may reflect a wish to abandon an opportunity that would allow you to enjoy proving your intelligence or a sophisticated experience.
I love how spaghetti is sophisticated and fancy.
Yeah.
It's like the first meal you learn to cook out of
So I
when you
think,
move
you
out
know,
of your parents' house.
yeah, the stuff going on with your mom, not with Todd, but just in general, a sign that you find yourself entangled in a messy relationship or uncomfortable position, I think really resonates.
Yes.
In real life?
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, what's your
Do
mom
you want to get
through?
into it?
Do you want to get into it?
I would prefer you to get into it.
What's Chill Mama going through?
Okay, so my mom had been in a relationship with somebody for the last 16 years or something like that, long time. In the last 2 years, they broke up. They always kind of had differing political beliefs, but at the start of the pandemic, this person kind of went
Cuckoo for
Cuckoo.
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he became a sign guy. He started holding a sign on the side of the road, and it, so they broke up, but they have been living together still. They own a house together. So that's a little complicated. But most recently, like, it took a while, but after like 2 years, my mom started dating again, and she's really happy in this new relationship. But
Not a sign guy.
no, not a sign guy. He seems like a nice guy. He would never put a horse into Tupperware that I know of. But the complicated situation is that they own a house together. They're both living there. She really wants him to, leave. She wants to be able to buy him out, and he's kind of.
But they never got married, so this can't be like arbitrated.
It actually can, like, she could take him to court over it, but like she doesn't want to have to do that. Right. It's just kind of a complicated situation where he's basically going to just stay there unless she like makes a drastic move, because he can't buy her out. She's offering to buy him out, and he's basically said, no, I'd rather just stay here and live with you. But, now she's dating this person. She has to drive to his house because it's like uncomfortable to bring people over. And
sure.
Yeah. So that's their situation.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to go hang out with a sign guy either.
Yeah.
What is your mom's history with Memphis? Do you think that plays a role?
So I asked her about that too. She said that she loves and misses Memphis. She's also relieved to not have the expense of taking care of a horse. So Memphis actually, they had to put Memphis down recently.
But she had him for a long time.
The last like 5 or 6 years, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, she was a horse that they rescued from a kill pen. It was it was kind of a sweet situation. She got an extra 5 years out of life. She had a health issue that ultimately they had to put her down. I think that maybe the horse significance is in the pooping, though. And something about this dream, it actually reminds me of the poop dreams that we've talked about in the past, where you're trying to get something done, or like there's something in the way of like you accomplishing something. And in this case, it's that she's like trying to communicate that they should stop and let the horse poop, but nobody's listening to her. They're all just ignoring her. And that's where she's getting frustrated at not being able to accomplish this communication, I guess. She was frustrated that no one was listening to her.
Do either of you have an interpretation right off the bat, or the beginnings of one?
So you've got her boyfriend. They're making spaghetti together. He's putting meatballs on the spaghetti. And then they're going to put it in the oven, but then there's a pony in it.
The fridge.
In the fridge.
He's putting it away. Can I actually read you? So I asked my mom some questions like about this so that we could interpret it. Are you experiencing any fears, frustrations, or issues in relationships? She said, there's a new relationship, still navigating that. Having to drive to Todd's because he can't come here. There's a lot of driving. I said, your most honest feelings about the people in your dream. She says, I really like Todd. He makes me laugh all the time. He's different from anyone I've ever known. She said, I love and miss Memphis. I'm also relieved to not have that expense. And then I asked for any additional feelings that you felt during the dream. And she says, I love myself and recognize that the piece about someone thinking I'm being bossy is from, should we give him a pseudonym?
Sign guy?
Yeah, okay. I love myself and recognize that the piece about someone thinking I am being bossy is from Sign Guy. He does so many things, most things totally half-assed, and if I ever said anything to him, he would tell me I'm giving him input without asking him if he wants input. Or I'm not his mother, or just being totally butthurt if I said, please wash dishes by hand, please put them in the dishwasher because you're a terrible dishwasher. He always thought I was judging him or telling him how to do things, but guess what? He does everything half-assed, so either fucking do it right or don't fucking do it. That's my motto. Yes, I have some feelings about that. But then she just says, I felt frustrated at the stupidity of all the people. If only they would just fucking listen to me.
Yeah, that did offer some insight.
Yeah, it's interesting that Sign Guy is not actually in this dream at all, but like it seems like
he's the one that's not letting the horse shit, though.
Yeah. Sign Guy is not letting the horse shit.
So then what? Who in the dream wasn't letting the horse shit? Was it a group of people?
Yeah, it was like random people that she didn't recognize.
But there was a problem. She thought she had the solution. She was trying to give that solution, and people were not listening to her and making her feel like she was being bossy, which is a reflection of like,
you're not my
how
mom.
Sign Guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like she's having a nice time with her new partner, and then something about the horse kind of, maybe because the horse, they had the horse for a long time. They had Memphis for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of like the past, right? And maybe kind of getting sucked into the past, and then in doing so getting sucked into some old grievances with Sign Guy.
What is the Dream Bible entry for horse?
I've got pony. I can look for horse.
Well, you got a pony and a horse in this dream.
Does the pony become a horse?
They were different?
I think so. It sounded like she saw Todd putting a pony into the spaghetti and meatballs, and she was concerned about that. And then they were suddenly in a barn, and there was a horse.
And what color was the horse?
Chestnut, but there is not a
Dark brown?
light brown,
Light brown.
red brown.
We've got white, dark brown, and black.
Yeah.
And then a Mustang or wild horse. But it sounds like she's dreaming of a specific horse. So I think horse color would probably only matter if it was symbolic. Like if your brain was conjuring up like a random horse. Okay, so I guess I will start with ponies and then move to horses. So to dream of a pony represents feelings of enjoying interesting or unique experiences with family or special people. Enjoying time with people who don't embarrass you or laugh at you. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say her impression of Todd was, I really like Todd. He makes me laugh all the time. He's different from anyone I have ever known.
Right.
Unique or special people, I guess.
Yeah. Enjoying spending time with family, feeling that you're special, personal time with people you like. And then what was...
To dream of someone hurting a pony.
Was he hurting the pony? Who was hurting the pony?
She was afraid it would get hurt in the fridge.
She
right?
said
Okay.
He was putting the meatballs and spaghetti into a tray. I turned around and he had put a pony into the spaghetti and meatballs. He had put a pony in there kind of like for safekeeping overnight. And I said, no, that's going to hurt the pony's hooves. That's not good for his hooves. And what if he jumps out and breaks his leg and jumps off the counter? And Todd was copying an attitude like, don't be so bossy, which is not his MO.
And
Sign
that
Guy's
is
MO.
right. Okay, so it says here, to dream of someone hurting a pony or trying to hurt a pony may reflect feelings about personal time or special relationships being threatened by conflict. Which seems on point. Right?
Yeah, no, it does. It absolutely does, because it literally is one of the things in here that she said was navigating a new relationship, having to drive to Todd's because he can't come here. Lots of driving. Like that's the conflict is keeping their relationship over, at his place, which he doesn't live close. It's a long drive.
Right.
It's a long enough drive, it's like a 45-minute drive probably.
Yeah, it's a bummer when one person is doing the driving all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like the conflict is what's keeping it is kind of it's not like immediately threatening their relationship. I've had this thought too. It's like it's a new relationship. It seems like Todd is being very understanding of like her situation, and like even the nicest and kindest and most understanding person is going to have a limit with that situation, I don't know where that is, how long that is, but like there's a certain point where it's like, really, you're still going to live with your ex, or like, we're not going to do something about this. And
We should make some signs. Protest till he leaves.
I don't think that that's an imminent thing right this second, but like, I can understand why that would be at the back of someone's mind,
I don't know.
Can I just say it's super interesting that there was a specific entry about dreaming of somebody hurting a pony, but that's not in the horse entry at all.
Yeah, that is interesting.
It's like that. It's like implying that that is a specific thing that people dream about, or like the sheep, like to dream of a sheep with googly eyes.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes Dream Bible has these really hyper specific things. To dream of spaghetti in a toilet, like really.
It's just a fun prison pasta night.
So I'm gonna really quickly just give a summary of what I'm seeing in meatballs, and then I'm gonna jump back over to horses.
Okay.
So meatballs, the gist I'm getting is that they have to do with like having it easy, like things going really well for you and you not having had to work very hard to achieve that. And then the negative version of that is just that it was so easy that you maybe have like uncomfortable feelings about it, or that you're like maybe a little guilty or self-conscious of how easy things were for you to achieve strength, power, what have you. So it says to dream of meatballs represents feelings about being sustained with strength, power, or confidence made easy for you. Easily feeling big about why other people are little. Easily feeling strong about why other people are weak. Not really sure how it plays in here, but I just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah.
And then over to horses. To dream of a horse represents ambition and strong drives, stamina, endurance, or your capacity for hard work. Horses can also represent your sexual drive and libido. Horses often appear in dreams of people who work very hard, students that are very driven, people with very strong sexual interests, or anyone who is very motivated, pushing ahead hard for your goals. And then negatively, which I think this was negative, right?
Yeah.
There was negativity around the horse specifically. A horse in a dream may be a sign that you are taking too many risks with your ambition to succeed, hurting others in your drive to get ahead, sexual interests that are excessive, a warning that you need to slow down.
So it was all the same stuff, just negative.
Right.
Like the flip side.
Yeah.
Does any of that ring true with your mom?
I'm not sure.
Not that you would know about her libido.
Yeah.
You can text her.
I'll
I could text her.
Mom, if any of this rings true to you, why don't you write us at the Young and the Restless pod at Gmail and let us know. Or text me.
Yeah.
Remind me what exactly. So Pony goes into the fridge, or is going to go into the fridge.
Meatballs and spaghetti go into container. She turns around. He's putting a pony in the container. That's alarming. She's worried that the pony's going to get hurt.
And then where's the horse come in?
Then suddenly they're in a barn, and she sees somebody leading a horse that looks like Memphis, and she sees the horse is trying to poop, and she's yelling, "She needs to poop!" And the person's ignoring her, and she's trying to get their attention and tell them that the horse needs to poop and that they should just stop and let the horse poop. And they're all ignoring her.
So like on first telling, it feels like a free association thing that her brain is doing, where it's like she dreamt of a pony, and then thinking about a pony made her think about like being in the stables and horse experiences. And so it like took her into like kind of a new dream, or a new phase of a dream where she's just at the stables and there's a horse there. But there is like, I feel like there is really something with like the horse trying to poop and her trying to help, and the people around not listening to her. That feels significant.
Yeah, and that's the main feeling she expressed, was like frustrated that no one was listening. No one was hearing her.
And the same thing did kind of happen with the pony, right? So it's almost like she went into a new dream, but then the same dynamic was kind of playing out, where in both instances she sees a problem with the horse. She's trying to help the horse, and there's another person. First it's Todd, who's sort of taken on the negative traits of sign guy.
Yeah, like she said, it wasn't his MO. Oh, Olivia's dying.
Please stand by. The Jung and the Restless will return shortly.
She survived.
I'm going on my galaxy brain like description of what I think's happening in this dream, and your phone's exploding and you're coughing.
I'm so sorry. I fully had like fizzy drink up my nose and had to go die in another room.
You should try the hole just below that one.
Yeah, carry on, I guess.
Yeah.
Victor figured it out and you missed it.
Yeah, I cracked it.
Fuck. All right, fill me in.
It was about the libido the whole time. No. No, it's
turns out your mom's just super horny.
So like you've got dream A, like if you treat them as like kind of two separate dreams, they were just parked next to each other. Dream A is she's with somebody who's, you know, doing something to a horse that they're not supposed to be, and she's trying to help the horse, and this person is kind of taking on the role of sign guy and being like a pain about it and not listening to her. And then you roll into dream 2, horse, people not listening to her. She's trying to help the horse and she's getting treated like, you know, she's not being helpful or is being bossy or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's like same dynamic, just one happened in the kitchen with a tiny horse and the other happened in the stable with a big horse.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like my brain does that all the time, where one dream leads into another because it's tangential and there's overlapping themes.
Mm-hmm. It's exploring the same thing. Yeah, no, I definitely have had that experience too.
Yeah, I do feel like a big part of dreaming is thoughts just totally unbridled. Mm-hmm. So have you ever done that thing? Hey-o. Horse puns. Do you ever do that thing where you don't quite fall asleep?
And you just let your brain go wild, and it's like...
Yeah, you just become suddenly conscious of the fact that you're about to fall asleep, and you're like, why am I picturing this? Why am I thinking this thought?
I love that feeling. I don't know what, but...
It's because you're like this close to starting a dream, but you're actually awake. You're just like picturing your grandma eating graham crackers.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
There's something so like, yeah, I don't know. It's really like a freeing feeling.
Yeah, when you realize it's happening, you're like, that's where dreams come from. It's just like, It's not like a sudden boom, there's a dream. It's like you just don't remember the part where your mind wanders into the dream.
It's a great feeling.
I'm sure.
So I feel like the core thing here, I think that what was happening with the horse, I think we can kind of set aside the separate horse entry because I think it's the same dynamic, someone trying to hurt a pony.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the key, right? And in both instances, you've got that representing feelings about personal time or special relationships being threatened by conflict.
Absolutely.
So in the first one, it's like the thing you're afraid of losing, which would be her new boyfriend, taking on the role of the person that's kind of the source of that conflict, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And then in the second dream, you know, just generalized, like that sign guy energy is in this group of people that are between her and then we get back to poop, right? Mm-hmm. The purging of negativity.
Yep.
So there's something in the way of purging that negativity.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the dream.
Yeah, I was thinking there was a parallel between, like, she's trying to take care of this new relationship, but there's a handicap to it, which is sign guy. Just like Memphis had a handicap, which was being ill. You know, she's trying to
that's interesting.
Take care of it the same way, but there are people maybe not actively trying to hurt the horse, maybe actively trying to hurt the horse, but more than that, not letting her take care of it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does seem like all the people who may pose a threat to the horse don't seem to be concerned with it.
Yeah. And, Sign Guy is pretty preoccupied with himself,
Yeah,
And
certainly.
not preoccupied in what damage he might be doing to other people. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I liked in your mom's response to your text when she went off about the dishes. She really strayed from the you really touched a Pandora's box with that one.
Definitely was in the kitchen looking at this mess of a dish situation when you texted her. She's fuming over the dishes while she's texting you.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. I think we got there.
Alrighty, thanks for listening to The Young and the Restless.
You can follow us on Instagram at The Young and the Restless Pod and submit your dreams to The Young and the Restless Pod at Gmail.
And as we always say,
Thank you, and we're sorry. Meet you a tiger lily on the moon, and maybe someday we could go there together. For now the clock is screaming, welcome home. Dream forever, dream forever.
Do you have a dream that you'd like read on an episode, but don't want us to dive into the deep, dark nooks and crannies of your psyche? Well, leave it in a review on Apple Podcasts, and we'll read it without trying to penetrate your soul with our keen gaze.
Long, hard, keen gaze.